This video is a quick overview on our SkillStack program. Before you actually complete any of these activities, you should meet with our work-based learning liaison, who right now is Mr. Fernandez, me, to make sure you fully understand the requirements about this program, and then you could start completing the work that's needed to participate. So a quick overview, this program is meant to be asynchronous, which means you do it at your own pace when it's convenient for you. So you could finish this over the course of one semester or over 1 year. You could start it in September, you could start it in October, it really doesn't matter. It's meant to be really flexible. And the purpose of this is to help you learn about a career cluster of your interest so you can decide if you would want to pursue it more. This is a great prerequisite to some of our internship programs, so you could do a lot of research and experiences about one cluster. For example, let's say the healthcare cluster, and throughout the experiences that you do in this program, maybe you'll decide that you want to do an internship. It is not a prerequisite for the internship program, but it's just a way to have you do a variety of experiences for school credit that will make you more knowledgeable about a certain career path. The important thing to understand is that all your work must be tied to one career cluster. The examples that we outline here is we're in the healthcare and human services cluster. You could engage in activities related to different careers like nursing, physical therapy, EMT. All those are fine, even though they're different because they're in the healthcare and human services cluster. What you can't do if you're studying in the healthcare and human services cluster is research about being a carpenter, because that career is in the construction cluster. So the careers can be different, but they have to be in the same cluster. We talked earlier about some of the benefits. You earn a half credit. It's really flexible, and it's great for you to decide, is this cluster of careers something I am interested in pursuing? In this area, we see the different career clusters. If you have questions about which careers are in a certain cluster, feel free to talk to the work-based learning liaison. Again, here's a listing of all the career clusters that there are to explore. Again, you should really meet with me and we could talk about which cluster you should be focusing on before you engage in any of these activities, and you can email me at any time if you have any questions about these activities. I talked about this before. The program is really flexible, so you could start it at any time. You could even work on it over the summer. And some of the activities that you're doing in certain courses could actually count for this. So if you go to a career fair as part of a certain course, you could fill out the related activity and have that count. If you have a guest speaker in your business class and you're studying the financial services pathway, you can complete the written part of that experience and submit that. That's totally okay, and we are actually encouraging students to do that. So the great part is that some of the work that you're already doing in your classes can count for this program. Some of the requirements might change year to year. Right now, we're looking at you fulfilling 35 points, and we'll talk more about that in a couple minutes. Again, I highly recommend that you send me an email before you start working on these activities, and we could talk a little bit more about your personal plan path. This page is a listing of all the activities that count for our SkillStack program and how much they're worth. You could see that this column is some of the mandatory activities that you have to do. The links for them haven't been put in yet, but everyone has to do these activities. These other activities, we have to do a wide variety of them. As you complete the activities, you're going to be documenting your work through Hours Republic, which we're going to talk about soon. Something to note is that most of the activities involve you doing something in real life and then reflecting on it. So a job shadow, you can email me and we can get you an excused absence to do that. You go, you perform the job shadow, you do a reflection, and that can get you 3 points. Again, a lot of these experiences might be something that you're already doing in a class, and you could definitely count it if you are in that cluster. So if you're, again, in the health science cluster and you have a guest speaker, you can have that count. If you have a guest speaker in a business class and you're studying in the construction cluster, it wouldn't count because, as we mentioned before, everything is supposed to be tied to the same cluster. Some of the activities are more research-based. So an example of that is the poster project. If you research a specific company and create a poster meeting all these requirements, and then you fill out the short reflection, that can get you 1 point. So most of them are you going and having an experience and then reflecting, but some of them are more research-based where you're learning more about careers or companies related to that cluster. Students will get a half credit from completing these experiences. This listing shows all the different types of things that students can do and the points that are associated with each activity. The activities are constantly getting updated, so when you look at this document, you might see new ones and some of the point values may change. So I can look at these listings and I could decide some of the activities I want to do. If I wanted to, for example, go visit a school like, let's say, Gateway, I could click this tab and it would give me some guidance on what the activity is. So this is going to a training school or program. Doesn't have to be a school. Sometimes they're just certain training facilities. I would go do that experience. Then I would make a copy of this form. To make a copy, you can click up here and hit make copy. And then you would have to fill out these questions which are related to your experience. So you would put your name, the cluster, your grade, check off your experience. This same form is used for a variety of experiences you could see. So you're telling us which experience you're going on. You would answer some of the questions. We're looking for 2 to 3 sentences per question, just so you could adequately answer each one. And then an overall end of experience reflection, again, 2 to 3 sentences. So along with doing the actual experience, again, in my example, going to Gateway on a tour to learn about their healthcare training programs, you also have to complete this form. After you complete the form, you're going to want to download it. So again, imagine I made a copy. I'm going to download the form. Let's say it's a PDF. Now it's in my downloads folder. This might look slightly different to you since you are going to be on a Chromebook. So this location will be slightly different. Then I would go to Our Republic, which is what we use to track students in the Skill Stack program. In this example, you see there's something already here. Don't worry about that right now. I'm going to show you how to input your specific requirements. Yeah, I would hit Add Hours. So now we need to document that experience. So I'm going to select placement/co-op. I'm going to have to search for an organization, the Skill Stack program. If I just write Skill Stack, it should come up. The contact is going to be me, Jared Fernandez. And the position is related to the cluster that you're in. So not all the clusters have been put in at the time of this filming, but if I was in the construction cluster, I would click that. In the example I talked about, we're talking about healthcare, which isn't listed right now, but It will be when you participate in it. And you can just click a skill that you learn from this activity. And in your description, you can just write "see attached." Because in here, under attachments, you would add the file that you completed. So this is that file. You could see that would have been completed. I would upload this to my hours under that attachment section. And now I would put in the amount of hours it equals. And the amount of hours it equals would be equal to the amount of points that were listed here. So you could see the post-secondary training institution was worth 1 point. So I'm going to put 1 hour. Honestly, the date doesn't matter as long as it's, during the current school year. So I really don't care about the date. I also don't care about the time. All I care about is that it is worth 1 hour. And then you would click Save and Submit. And what that does is send me an email. It's going to send me an email saying I need to approve your hours, and I'm going to be able to see that attachment that you sent me. I'm also going to make sure that you put in the correct amount of hours that that activity was worth. And then I'll approve it or deny it. So if you didn't fill out it correctly, I might deny it and send you an email back. Or if you put in the wrong number of hours, I will edit the hours for you.